we fixing to go through our limb hooks. I done been down to the Walmarts, and I didn't get everything I wanted. So I bought about 5 or 6 packs of swivels. That was all they had, and I'm going all dark stuff this year. So y'all know that I have always fished with these pink lines. Well, I am fixing to rig them all up with this black line. And the reason is this year I'm probably going to fish some down in some areas where there's other people, and I'm going to do my best to try to hide some of my stuff. So I always roll my lines up around. This is the one before with some notches cut in it where I can just roll my stuff up. And I try to keep my big hooks on one and my little hooks on one. Well, here's what happens. When you start pulling them out off the lines, they get all jumbled up. So I bought several different sizes of hooks. I have got some 6/0. I bought some 7/0. And the reason I bought some 7/0 circle hooks is we're going to make some limb hooks to take like to Tom Bigby, such as this kind of stuff. So I don't know what all I'm going to be making this year and where all I'm going to be fishing. So I want to be geared up. Now, while I was out, I had to replace some stuff that I run out of. I ran out of these Berkeley power baits. I got me some vicious 4-pound test line because I'm going to rig up some new spinner reels. And I was out of these pink niblets. We call them niblets. They're them crappie. And the other day, we were hanging shiners on under a jig, hanging a shiner on, or hanging a minnow on a jig, and catch it. Well, when we run out of minnows, I started putting them Berkeley niblets on there, and we caught just about as many fish. So what I'm gonna do, and I need somewhere to start hanging. I think I'm gonna just try to hang them on these nails up here for right now. Let me move that buoy knife. Move some of these glasses because I'm gonna use these nails to hang my stuff on over here. So I'm fixing to hang all of these hooks up, and a bunch of them is needing redone. Some of them don't need redone. So what I'm going to do is we're going to hang everything up. See, like this, some of these lines, they get dry rotted. I need to undo them all and inspect everything. Now if they're still okay, well, that's fine. But if they got any kind of questionability to them that I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one, we're going to do away with it. So right now I'm just going to hang them, and I'm going to organize them by hook size. So I'm going to take them and see, like, look right here. I mean, I wound up with, I don't know what this is. This is a little old piece of bullet lead with a little old, so we're going to put that miscellaneous stuff over there on another. And I don't know that I'm playing this by ear, I reckon. Number one thing is I want a swivel on every one of them. If there's no swivel, then I don't want it because they'll cost you a bunch of fish is what'll happen. It will. But we're going to rig up some. I got different size hooks. Like I said, we're going to rig some up that we take to Tom Bigby and do limb hooks, and I'm probably going to put them on some longer lines, or at least rig them up to where I have, see, that is sliding all the way down. We're going to redo a lot of this stuff. I want all of them exactly the same, but I can add line to them if they're not long enough, but I don't want to just make all of them like god awful long. And that is a very small hook. I got a couple of different sizes. They just get mixed up. So we're going to go through here and we're going to sort everything out. Everything. So let me get all this organized and then I'll pick y'all back up. So I found my coffee can that had a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of lead that I poured. And I don't know what all I'm going to use because I bought all the half-ounce lead that they had, which wasn't but 4 packs of it at Walmart. Walmart is the cheapest place to get it, so right there, that is big. Here, then wrong lid. This is hooks that goes on, they got snaps on them, so they go on a trot line. Big hooks. I just need to organize and go through everything so that I know what I got and what is worth. So I'm still finding stuff. I don't know where all of my stuff is. I've got some more. I think I got another can of them somewhere that had some pink. I made some lines. In other words, I put my heavy weight at the bottom. And they didn't work good. They kept getting tangled up. So I said, scratch that idea. That is a terrible idea. So, them 6/0, 7/0 ain't a lot of difference in them. They're going to be for taking the big water, and we're going to go. I'm going to do a lot of that this year. I didn't do as much last year, but me and Brody's going to do some more of that. So these have got 8 hooks in them. Them had 5, so I only got 3 packs. I thought I had 4 packs of these, and I think I dropped it walking through Walmart because I had it all in my hand. But that's all right. I'm not going to take this one apart yet. These are... I don't know where my roll of bigger hooks are. I had a roll of limb hooks that were... And you see how there's different color line stuff done got all in there? I gotta fix feed all that. Alright. So I think what I am fixing to start doing is cutting every bit of this mess right here apart. Now this, where I have already got a good black line on that swivel, I may leave that because that seems to be... Alright, so what I'm going to do is cut this here. And that way I still got my swivel and it's already got that black tard line. And here's the thing about this tard line, y'all. It don't seem to unfray and come all apart as bad as the other, in my experience. Now, I'm sure there's some other folks that's going to go, oh, mine did. But, you know, and it may happen to me eventually. But it hadn't been a problem yet. I need to find something. I got tools in there. I need me a garbage. There's a box. I got a box now. So what I'm doing is getting all my lead, laying them up here. What I got? So that box. I don't really like that hook. So let me get all this mess dismantled. And see, like that different side, look, got a little old bitty lead. Get everything squared away. And, y'all, while I am sitting here piddling with this, I'll talk to you a little bit about it and why I do what I do or whatever. People wonder everything. So, doing your lines the way I'm doing them is not necessary, but it's better. In other words, as long as you got a hook hanging on a piece of string with some kind of a weight to hold it in the water, you can catch fish. Okay. So the reason that you go through this and do all this saves me a lot of trouble on the water. If I pull up to a spot, I like to have a roll of big lines and a roll of little. It depends on where I'm going. And there's just places that you know I'm going to catch little fish. Like if I go to Tom Bigby and I get in the backwater back there and I'm just fishing jugs, like just water bottles, or, well, usually I use Gatorade bottles. And I'm just throwing small jugs out there with a short piece of line and that's it. I'd rather really have smaller hooks similar to this, which I am going slowly to all circle hooks. And nothing wrong with these straight shank hooks. I have caught a lot of fish on them, but it just seems like if you, with those circle hooks, that I get a little better hookup at times. Sometimes I question that. Sometimes I think, I don't think that really makes that much difference anymore. So, but the reason you take the time right now, number one, is it's fun to sit here and fool with all your stuff and think about fishing. I mean, let's all be honest about it. We got fishing on our mind and the weather's bad and I can't go today. So what do? I sit here and tie lines and work on my gear and all that. Half of it's the fun. But the next thing is the more prep I do now and work on my stuff and make sure I inspect everything and go through and change it and get it all the same, I know that, hey, that's my line right there. And I don't have to question it, well, is that mine or was that so-and-so's? Because down here in the swamp, it's public land, which most fishing water is public water. Very rarely are you going to be limb hooking somewhere for catfish that is not public. But other people run their stuff, it's easy to get confused because there'll be a bunch of stuff lined up in, where you fishing, whether you like it that way or not. I don't really like to fish where there's already a bunch of people going to be fishing. Just don't. You see, like this, I don't know how I wound up with that little bitty weight. It just, I was probably in a bind and like, I was going to put a hook right there. And that was what was in the tackle box or laying in the bottom of the boat or whatever, My knife probably needs sharp. Somebody asked me today, said, is that knife sharp? I said, well, sometimes, but I don't just keep my knife razor sharp. I'll get cut. I'm using it constantly, so it's very rare that I just keep mine like a razor. Taking all this apart, but if you sit here and go through everything, you find stuff that is wore out. These swivels, if you have caught a bunch of fish on them, you need to check them and make sure they ain't coming apart. I'm going to a little bit bigger swivel. But one thing down here in this swamp is there's a lot of small fish. I mean, and the smaller hook you use, really the better your chances are at. And I don't know why I took that. I should have left that. One thing I wanted that hook off, I guess. Ooh, I seen lightning. Ooh, I laid it around. And I'm going to try to keep all the same size sinkers on this stuff. So anyway, let me get all this tore apart. We'll try not to make another hour-long video, which I have no problem putting out an hour-long video. It don't bother me. I know there's some people that don't like it. It don't bother me not one bit. I'm of the persuasion that if it's an hour long and they don't want to watch an hour-long video, they can cut it off at any time. And you know what? I won't even know it. And for sure won't know who cut it off and who did it. Get all my stuff situated here. Alright, I got that whole wad of them undone. And we're going to salvage out what we can of this stuff. Now the next thing, and this ain't as bad, the one that was bad, but you want to get rid of these rusted hooks. Once the tip gets rusted and the barb's rusted, I'm bad to save stuff. I always want to save stuff. Throw it away. They sell like cheap. This pack of hooks was like $1.80 something. It just throw it away because it'll cost you fish is what it'll do. And it took me a long time to realize that and learn that. So these are all straight shank hooks except for one, and it is a different type of hook. I'm gonna put it right up there. I'm gonna try to make all of this stuff the same. I want to use this line right here. And I'm going to try to do all the same size weight. And these are either 1/2 ounce or 3/4 ounce egg sinkers. What I bought is Eagle Claw 1/2 ounce. Some of this stuff is different. So these that are definitely bigger, we're going to put for our bigger lines. But some of them are like 1.5 ounces. That's a 2 ounce weight. So they have their application, and there's a lot of times down here the water is swift enough to need that. So we ain't like doing away with it. All right. The lighting, I am between me and the light, and I took my light bulb out. But what I'm doing is I just tie me a loop, and I like a fairly big loop because I want to be able to loop over hooks, and I want at least a 6-foot line right here. So usually what I do is I pull out like this, and I realize that you can't. So look, I'm holding the end of it where the loop is. I'm pulling out past that, and then I'm gonna give myself just a little bit, because they ain't none of them gonna be the same. And then I'm gonna tie another loop. So I'm just tying an overhand loop in these. Okay. Now I have already got some hooks up here. Those are a little bigger. These are the small ones. This is what I'm wanting. So, okay. So now my weight is on here. I want to keep my weight from doing what it's doing right now. I want it to stay down here. So what I'm going to do is tie me a knot in it right there. And that allows that to stop, see. So now that weight, now I could probably snatch it through there, but normal use circumstances, that ain't going nowhere. So some of these have small swivels, that'll be fine. We are targeting smaller fish with these particular, this particular set of hooks. So that is what I just see how I just pull that through a loop. So I have my hook at the bottom, and I'm fixing to burn this tag right here off. This one was already made. I don't want all that tag sticking out. And the reason is I think fish might see it. That is one of the reasons I'm getting away from the pink lines. I've started considering, can that catfish see that pink line? I don't know. I mean, I know some fish can see that stuff. The reason I was using pink as well, I had this roll of pink line. I was like, well, I'll make limb hooks out of it. And I was like, well, I don't know them's my hooks. I'll be able to see them when I'm paddling up down the river. And then, I don't know, now I'm thinking about hiding my stuff. That is the reason for that. So what I do, the first one gets hooked like this. I roll them. Roll, roll, roll. So then when I get to the next one, I'll hook it into the loop of that one, and I'll continue that loop. So I'm going to tie one more of these right here, and then I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'll finish them off camera. This loop will now pick you up when I start the other one. Because I won't never use all my stuff up. I don't know how many I'm going to make for this, because I really don't need that many probably for where I am going to fish this week. With 3 inches of water, the river is rising. I have been keeping a check on it. And whenever I get down there, I always I tie my lines on limb hooks different than everybody else. That's one of the reasons I know they mine, but I do it for a purpose. That ain't a circle hook. I want to make sure all of these are circle hooks. That still got a little bit of string. I left a little bit of string on there where I cut it with old Jonah. I'm gonna try to get Brody to go with me when we set these. I don't know if he needs to be in that canoe or not, swift water, but he's got to learn. Brody has gotten to where he don't want to do nothing with me no more. Kind of breaks my heart, to be honest with you. He's a kid, he wants to play. So when y'all wondering why you ain't seeing Brody in a lot of videos, I ain't gonna make Brody follow me around for the most part. I imagine he's gonna get made to go on a fishing trip because the reason is I feel like after he gets there he'll have fun on this. I always did as a kid. This was my favorite thing. Alright, both of them are straight shank hooks. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that right there. Keep on going. And I don't even know what size this. I found this roll of line in a bunch of junk somewhere. And it's still good line. It wasn't like it was junk line. I should have put my weight on that first. I just always, instead of cutting this when I'm making them, I always just burn it into. Tie my knot behind it. I don't like that line, that lid to just slide all up and down. I don't know, it just droves me nuts when it does all that. So anyway, right here, we got one with a swivel, but we're gonna change that hook. Yeah, I can change that hook, I think. If I can't, I may be screwing up. If I can, I'll leave that straight shank hook on this one. But I think I can change it. Yeah. So that is why I like to do my loop. See, I can pull that. And these have a big eye in them. They were actually good hooks. I just want to fish these circle hooks. And I think I got a bunch more of these circle hooks in there somewhere. So let's open up a pack of these and let's dump them out right here on the counter. And then let's see. Well, I couldn't get that through there. So what I'm going to do is just make me another little deal for my hook. And the reason is these hooks have a smaller eye, and I'm going to tie them different. So I'm fixing to show you how I'm going to do that too. And I want them about 6, 8 inches long. I don't know. If they wind up a foot, it ain't no big deal. Right? So I got a loop on one end. Wait a minute. I'm fixing to screw up already. You gotta be paying attention, Justin. You can't be in la la land. I'm about to put this on the end away from my leg is what I was fixing to do, please. Now. So I got my lead. Now I'm gonna loop this through there. Most of the time, the reason I like them loops is if something messes up down there in the swamp, you can fairly easy swap it if you carry a little extra gear with you, but no. So now I'm gonna go through that eye. And I don't know if you can see how I'm tying this or not, but I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna wrap all the way around and then go back through my loop. And then I'm gonna burn that tag off. And that'll burn your hands if you hold on to it very long. So that's what we wound up with. And these are fairly for fairly light water. So then as I roll them up, hook it right there. End of the last one I hooked into it. Continue rolling. I think most people do them that way. Now there's 1,000 different ways to put them in buckets and all that stuff. Buckets is not for me, okay? And I tell you why. In a canoe, rocking around, dragging that thing up and down, hauling it down under my bucket. I've seen cans, buckets, whatever, with pool noodle around the top, hook them all in there, and that all works, but you dump it over, the lead gets tangled up, the line's all tangled up. This way it is tangle free all the time, no matter what. And I'm gonna wind up throwing this thing in the buggy, in the back of the buggy, bouncing across the pasture. I mean, it's, we're not riding in no smooth ride to get where we're going most of the time. Very seldom ever. So that is why I do them like that. I can take that roll and lay it between my feet under the canoe, and it'll be right there. They don't take up no room. It's rolled up out of the way, and they come off one at a time. For me, this is my preferred way of doing it. I have tried. I got a can with, and my big lines, when I go to Tom Bibby, I've got a 5-gallon bucket and I hang them all the way around the top. They're only this long with a snap at the bottom. I have still had that become a mess. One, we lost a bunch of them. We hit a big wake and it like went out of the water. Did lose one of the lines. It just, stuff happens, y'all. So, and that is what we are doing today, is gearing up and so that when it's time to go fishing and the weather gets right or the opportunity presents itself, that you ain't got to stop and put all your junk together then. Oh. So enough talking about all that. You see what I'm doing? I'm gonna finish making these. They ain't nothing to it, y'all. It's just simple as all get out. Simple as all get out. See how you poke that swivel through there? I just like a swivel on all of my stuff. I need to tie this knot behind that lid where all of that stays down here. Alright. We're good. Well, y'all, it has just slacked off raining. I mean, it has been raining so hard I couldn't even hear myself think out here. I'm talking about, we done had us one of them 5 more chunk floaters. Come on. Anyway, I can't get that string right there through there. My lighter quit. I had to get my other lighter out. I had to go over to this other lid. I don't know how many I have got made at the moment, but that 1/2 ounce lead that they making now, I don't know if that's lead. That's the steel egg sinkers. Well, they too dead dumb big, and I bought, I don't know if they heavy enough. We're gonna use them nevertheless, but you can't buy, I'd be better off went over and bought nuts and bolts, I imagine. See, they got steel on them. 1/2 ounce, look how big they are. And they don't weigh doodlum. Y'all know what doodlum is? I don't know how many I got made up. I got a roll full over here. I couldn't talk to the camera. So, I mean, it was so loud. I promise you wouldn't have heard that about and loud too. So. And I don't imagine we out of the woodwork yet. Probably had to take a break for a tornado or something to come through. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like it's fixing to set back here. It rained so hard they canceled church. Yeah, they called and said, no, we no have church. Said there was flooding. I don't know if he meant on the road or the church, but either way, it ain't good. Folks calling and checking on me, you know. I told them, I said, well, I really ain't paid it much attention. If we have a tornado, I can get blown away out here just as good as I can in the house, word sick about it. Here I stand, still tying limb hooks. I'll tell you this, though. It may be tough to catch a catfish because they like to be, you don't know whether you're going to need to get out in the field or in the river or, you know, somewhere out in the pasture. These things could be anywhere now. You can't just hem them up the creek now. Oh, Lord. I guess now they won't be getting them boats and kayaks stuck at the Oak Timber Reservoir. Let me tell y'all this. Y'all that's local already know about it, but they sent out a thing Saturday. All the idiots get out on Saturdays. That's why I try to do my fishing in the week. Yeah. Somebody got a boat stuck down there on Oak Timber. You know, when I videoed it, it was low. It's bad low. They got it down to work on the boat now. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's low. Some yahoo got a kayak stuck in the mud and was stranded. Had to get rescue people out there, the fire department, and I don't know, probably some volunteer firemen. And the law, everybody was out there to get this kayak. Now, fella, look here. When you get a kayak stuck in the middle of a dried up lake and you stuck there with it, you ain't had no business in it to begin with. I mean, how you get a kayak stuck and can't get, come on. I mean, I realize it might have been mud, knee deep or waist deep. Still, I could have got it out. And still, if there was somebody that couldn't, they didn't have no business out there to begin with. I stand firm on that. You can hear some stuff. You hear me? It takes all kinds, though. And the bad thing is they get the boat right along with the rest of it. Beautiful. Beautiful. But we got plenty of water now. It was at 3 inches earlier. And now I ain't no telling what it's at. That little old hole in that thing, they didn't make that for trot line. I reckon I can see now I'm going to have to get on my catalog and go to ordering stuff I need. I spent a small fortune on this today. A small fortune. It's starting to rain again. I'm about ready to go in the house and eat the rest of them leg quarters. My phone's telling me it's tired and dying and wants to go to sleep, needs a break. But I said, by George, I need to make these folks a video, something to look at. I mean, I done invested all this money in these limb hooks to make them. By George, I'm going to make this video, rain or shine. Y'all, I have fun. I ain't just talking to myself. The other night, I was in there editing a video. Me and Mr. Randy fishing. And I'm over there with the headphones on. I usually got these Bluetooth headphones, and I keep them out here because if somebody calls, I can still work and talk to them on the phone. But I take them in there when I'm editing the video so that I can drown out all them and not be disturbing them either. Listen, I'm over there editing on video and I'm just chuckling at myself saying, what is the funny? I said, I just tickled it myself. I said, I tickle me sometimes. I do. I told her funny and I was laughing at it. It was funny the second time. Well, see if I can get to, I don't know how many more of these I need to make. I'm enjoying it. This tying these lines is therapeutic. Uncle Sasquatch here, I told him I was tying lines when he texted me earlier, and I told him that he said, "You've had that itch bad." I said, "It's really more than an itch. It's more like a good rash or something." I meet up with it now. I got it honest though. There's some blood that runs in me. They were some old timers that live around here that I'm related to that they fish pretty hard. I inherited it. Well, I got one more swivel there and 3 hooks laying there. There ain't no more lead, but I got 2 or 3 packs of it. I'm gonna probably have to start putting 2 on there. I don't know about that lead. Four of them in a pack. Just 4. And there's nearly $2. Could have probably went over there and bought some 3/4 inch nuts that would have weighed more and been cheaper. How many we got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We use all these, I don't know. We need to get 20 of them, you know. Well, that is 20 on there. So, just so you see how I do that. And that in there, I really need to figure out me a way of hooking it on something, but I don't. I'll wrap something around it. Now I want to take these all apart. I don't know, I may leave them alone and I may just make new ones. I believe that's what I'll do. Alright, for this next trick, we're going to make them out of heavier line. So I'm fixing to stick this. I always do my line this way. That way it don't come all unwound on me. I want to use this bigger line. This is number 36. So, same principle. Now I'm going to use a different hook here. I mean a different weight. I don't know why I said. And I'm using a different hook too. Different hook. Oh Lord. I think I got this roll from either Nets and More and or either Memphis Net and Twine. I don't remember. One of Nets and More is in Louisiana. So we're not using the little hooks. Now we are going to, I think we're going to put 6/0 on these. Yeah. These I'm going to take up to Tom Bigby. We may go down to the big part of the pearl. So let's do this. So we're going to do them the same, exact same thing, just out of bigger stuff. Because if I need them longer when I get there, it's very easy to make them longer. So, this is all, that is not, that is, I need to wait on them. Y'all, we're getting another light rain. I can't find the lead that I want. This is some lead I think that Mr. Jimmy Sullivan gave me. I probably should have put it on these hooks. I just did. And I may put some of it on some of these. I don't know yet. But what I'm going to wind up doing is making another whole video on this. I imagine. Well, I'm going to do everything the same way. I just want it all out of bigger line and bigger hooks. I'm probably going to use the same swivels right here. In fact, I know I am. I'm going to go ahead and make one, but probably what I'm going to do is make another whole video. That line is a little bit, I don't know if that's 36. I don't think that is. I might do some looking. I don't know what size. That may be that 42 this is. No, it's 36. So that's 36. It's fixing to come another chunk fluid on it. So I'm not going to be able to film no whole lot and talk with weather like this. I'm going to experiment with this and see what I got. I got the same deal, but that weight, I could add weight probably to it fairly easy. It's the same thing. At least the way I've done that, I can adjust that if I want to. I don't know. We're gonna experiment with this. I'm gonna do some rethinking right here and see what I got. And another thing, we're gonna let this weather play out. I'm about ready to go in the house anyway. So we did get one whole roll for what we're gonna fish with this week. This is what I'm gonna use. So, thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.